In last week's lesson, we learned that our brains can only hold so much information. Eventually, that information will fade away. If we want to transfer that information from our short-term memory to our long-term memory, we need to do something with it. When we are reading, there are three things we can do. We can annotate, which means we can mark up a piece of text with questions, definitions of unfamiliar vocabulary. We can just write down all of our thoughts that we have. When we're in a lecture class, it is necessary that we take notes. It's impossible to write down everything that the lecturer is saying word for word, so we need to abbreviate. We need to probably just use bullet points. Remember, these are lecture notes. These are for your personal use. You might be the only one that understands what these notes mean, but they are notes. Now, in order to remember what all these bullets, what all these abbreviations mean, we need to convert these lecture notes into something more formal. One such method is called taking notes using the Cornell method of note-taking. For your assignment this week, you're going to have two different parts to this assignment. First, you're going to listen to a lecture and you are going to write down lecture notes. You're going to write down your notes. You're going to bullet. You're going to use abbreviations. You're going to write down anything that you find is important in this lecture. Then you're going to take the lecture notes and you're going to convert them into something more formal. You're going to convert them into Cornell notes. I've taken and made an example. I listened to a lecture on children and poverty. So the first thing I did was I labeled it Children and Poverty. I gave it a date, May 1st, 2018. That's the lecture that I was at. I'm going to hold them up here. Okay, notice I put down just the information that I thought was important. I did not write in complete sentences. I used abbreviations. Now, when I got home after my lecture, in order to remember it, I need to take it and convert it into something more formal. So I converted it into Cornell notes. Notice on the left-hand column, I put down questions. In the right-hand column, directly across from the question, I listed an answer, I listed a note. The note is still not necessarily in a complete sentence. It's just a note that answers that question. Finally, on the very bottom down here, I took everything that was in the right column, that was in the note column, and I wrote in complete sentences a summary of that lecture. If you have information that is in the note column, it should be in the summary. If there's information that's in the summary that you want to keep in that summary, there should be a note for it up in the note column. So, in summary here, you're going to listen to a lecture. You're going to take your own lecture notes. You're submitting those lecture notes to me. Then you're taking those lecture notes and you are converting them into Cornell notes. You are going to submit them to me. One last thing I want you to remember is that Cornell notes are wonderful. There's a template, it's in your lesson that you can use, which is just basically a T, and you're writing on either side of the T. Or let's say you just have a piece of paper and a pen. You can just write your own T on the piece of paper, and you can have Cornell notes on anything, even a napkin if you're at a restaurant. So hopefully this video, plus please look at the examples that are in the instructor notes. Between the instructor notes and this video, I'm hoping that it will make your assignment easier and you're better able to understand it. Thank you.